Okay, recording has been started, and in this session, we'll work on app servers and web servers. Okay, so what we have completed previously, we have seen architectures and end server architecture, and we have completed our Linux command, right? Shiva Baran, go on mute. Okay. So in today's session, what we'll see how can we create application servers, how can we configure web servers, how can we create load balancer out of that web servers. Okay, and apart from that, we'll also see how can we configure multiple application servers or I mean Apache or Nginx. Okay, so let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, right. Web servers. Okay, so how many type of web servers do we have? What we have used in part as part of training. So one is Apache, what we generally call as HTTPD as well. Okay, and then we have something called Nginx. Okay, so how many web servers do we have? We have two different web servers. One is Apache and one is Nginx. So what is the benefits? I mean, why do we need web servers? What can we do? How it will help in our architectures? If you'll remember day second when we were discussing about client and server architecture, right? So we were using web servers to store the configurations related to our application server, right? So basically web servers can be used, will help us to manage the static websites. So web servers we configure in order to manage our static websites. Okay, so what do you mean by static website? When we talk about static, right? So what do you mean by static? Any idea, guys? What do you mean by static? For example, we have this facebook.com. Okay, this page, I mean the front or the starting page or the home page of Facebook, right? So this is same across the globe. Anyone who tries to access Facebook, this page will be same for everyone. Once we enter the email ID and password and click on login, what will happen? The interface will change based upon our friends, based upon our photos, based upon our groups, and based upon our interest. So this front page is called as a static page. Means this is same to everyone. The moment we click on login and it will change the interface, then the pages can be considered as a dynamic web pages. Okay, so we use Apache or Nginx in order to deploy our static websites. So we use Apache and Nginx in order to deploy or manage our static websites. Means any basic HTML page. Any basic HTML page. Which don't have any interfaces. I mean, there is no backend pages. There are no dynamic pages. In this case, we can use these web servers. Now, why do we have two different web servers? Again, why do we have these two different web servers? So what is the difference between them? Let us first check the configuration. How can we configure Apache and Nginx? And then we'll talk about the differences as well. Okay. So guys, hope this was clear.
Yeah. Yes, it's clear.
So we have our AWS console, right? So everyone try to log into your AWS console and access. If you want, we can also use our Oracle virtual machine as well. Okay, that depends. I mean, you can use either your cloud platform or you can use your virtual box as well. Okay, so in my case, I'm using this AWS Cloud Platform. Okay, so these are my credentials, and currently I'm in the North Virginia region. So what is this region and all? We'll discuss when we are working on AWS. Okay, so for now everyone is aware how to create one EC2, right? So let me just launch one server. Launch instance. Click on this. Okay, web server app server means this is the name for my server. Just for my identification, only to know that, okay, so this server is something where we were testing related to application servers and web servers. Okay, and then I will be using the image called Amazon Linux 2. Instance type I will be using T2 micro. Okay, and key pair already we have the key pair, right? Linux testing, so I will be using the same key pair. Okay, and then security group, we have the default security group, and click on launch instance. So what will happen now? It will create one Amazon Linux 2 image virtual machine for us on cloud, which is in North Virginia region of AWS. Okay, so let me select this. It is in pending state. It will take a couple of seconds to start. Once started, how can we connect to this server, remote server? What is the command?
SSH.
SSH. Okay, I have copied the public key, and then I will go to my downloads. So where is my key? My key is in downloads. So I will go to the downloads and I will open the terminal, git bash. SSH is the command. -a parameter is for the authentication. Linux testing is the PEM key. Okay, and then EC2 user is the username @ public IP. Now hit on enter. So what happened? It is trying to connect to my remote server. See, now we can see we are in the remote machine. Okay, so now what we have did, we have created one server and have logged into that server successfully. Okay, now I just want to use the root user. I don't want to use EC2 user. I don't want any issues in terms of permissions. Okay, so let me use root. Okay, currently I'm in the root user. This everyone is aware of. Now, in order to install my Apache or Nginx, for example, let us discuss about Apache. So this is very straightforward configuration, guys. So we can use a command called minstall httpd. This package will help us to install Apache. Okay, so let me execute this command. Install httpd. Hit enter. So what is happening here? It is asking for yes or no, means whether you want to download or you don't want to download this. So in our case, yes, I want to download this. Okay, installation is done. Now if you want to check if the service is running or not, what we can do? We can use a command called systemctl status httpd. Then we can see whether this service is running or not. Okay, so systemctl status httpd. Here we can see it is as inactive, means this service is not running. So how can we start this? With the help of systemctl start httpd. If I'll hit enter now, we can see something happened in the background. Now if you want to check the status again, you can use this command. Now we can see it is active and running. Here you can see the process ID, that is 3475. And we can see some logs as well, ... I mean, why we are able to see this ... because it is not capturing the complete screen. So what we can do, always check the status by using the parameter called -l. Hit enter. -l, this one. Then what will happen? It will help us to give us the complete output. Okay. And apart from this, so now what we have did, we have successfully started our Apache server. So now how to check? How should we check whether my Apache is running or not running? We have seen by status. Apart from status, how should I verify?
Port number. You can know the port number. And
Yes, we can use netstart-na grep 80. Then we can see port number 80, it is running. We can use ls of -i tcp:80. We can see HTTP is running. We can use ps-ef pipe grep HTTPD. Then we can see the services related to HTTPD. So these are the different ways how we can check whether the service is running or not. So always try to check that. Do not just be in a hurry that this is running and try to access on browser. No, always try to check if these services are running or not. Okay. So now what we have did, we have installed our Apache and we have started our service as well. Now I want to access this on browser. Then how can we do that? We can use the public IP colon which port number? Port number is 80 and hit enter. Now we can see one test page on the browser. If the test page is available, then it means our service is successfully running. Okay, this is nothing but one static page itself. This is the default page what we have got from Apache. Now my requirement is to, I don't want to see this test page. I want to customize my own page, or I want to deploy my own static page. Is that possible?
Yes, possible.
What do you mean by deployment?
Store.
Sorry, I missed you.
Static message we can store in some path. Here it is where www.html.
See, if you want to know the complete configurations related to Apache, right, then just read this message. Here we can see, you may now add content to the directory /var/www/html. Means in this particular location, you can add your content, means your static files, your website. Then it can be accessible on the browser. If you want to change the configuration, then you can go to this particular location. Means you don't want your Apache to run on port number 80. Means the default one, what is the default port number?
80.
Default port number is 80. Okay. So now if you want to run this on port number 81, is that possible? Can you customize your own port?
Yes, possible. We can configure.
That is also possible. We can make the configuration changes. How to find that? For example, find /name httpd.conf. Then you can see this file. Okay, let me just try to cat this file. I'm not making any changes. I'm just trying to read the content of this file. Okay, and if you scroll up, scroll up. Okay, here you will see this listen 80 means the configuration file is telling this application or this Apache should listen on port number 80. From here it is trying to pick up that configurations. If you want to customize on your own port, then you can just edit this. Let me try to edit this. Okay, so let me try to edit the httpd.conf. But guys, always make sure that before editing any configurations, try to take the backup. For example, cd etc httpd, and what was the location? What was the location? Okay, conf, right? So cd etc httpd conf, and in this particular location we have this file http.conf. So how can we take the backup? We can just copy this file http.conf to some other location. Now we have one backup file in this opt location, means if something goes wrong, right, then at least we'll have this file. Or else what you can do, copy http.conf.
We can tar, create a verbose.
You can tar, yeah, you can tar any file, or you can move to any directory. Or what I can do, I can just rename this http.conf from http.conf to .backup. Now if I do ll, now we can see this file will be considered as backup, means this file will not get executed. This is only for our reference. Now what I can do, I can cat the content of this file. I'm just trying to copy all the content manually. Okay, from here this is getting started, right? So I'm just copying this, and I will create one more file called vi httpd.conf. I'm creating my own file with the same naming convention, because Apache will always check for this file for configurations. You cannot rename these file names, it will not accept. Okay, so I'm just trying to create my own file and it's the complete data. Whatever we have copied, I'm trying to copy that. So what will happen now, if something goes wrong, at least we have the backup configuration file, that is the original file. So we can customize as per our requirement. Okay, always make sure that you are taking the backup of these files. Now once done, what I will do?
So Sabir, basically there are two files. One has listen 80 and other will be edited. So we are executing the without listen 80. So that will only be counted in front of Apache, or what about the backup file? It will be just as a
File,
backup.
basically backup file name has been changed. So Apache will not check for that name. Apache will check for the file name called httpd.conf.
Okay.
So in this case, let me just change this and show you. Here what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to change the listen address to 81, means instead of port number 80, try to listen on port number 81 and save this file. Okay, now here if you'll see, if I'll do ll, so here we have two files. This is running on port number 81 and this was our original file. So now when I'll try to restart my Apache, what will happen? It will try to check for this particular file. It will not execute this file because the naming conventions of this file has been changed. Apache will always check for the file called httpd.conf only. Understood? So now let me try to restart this. Restart httpd. Okay, something happened, and if I'll check the status, now you can see it is active and running. Okay, and if you want to cross check, then I can check on the browser as well. Okay, this time I will execute this on port number 81. See, this is working on port number 80. If I'll try to execute on port number 80, right, see what will happen. No page found, site unable, site can't be reached. Why? Because nothing is running on port number 80. I have moved the configurations to port number 81, means this is how you can manipulate the configurations as well. You can run on any port as per your requirement. By default, it will be accepting on port number 80. If you want to change, yes, that is possible. Understood, guys?
Understood.
Others? Swati, Sheetal?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Guys, we have how many members are there? We have 31 members in this conversation. Unable to get response from at least 4 or 5. That's it. Okay. So now my requirement is to modify this test page. I don't want to see the default page. I want to host my website, my static page. For that, no need to be have any kind of development understanding. Okay, so if you are aware of some basic HTML, that is fine, because we are not someone who will be working on the development of websites, right? So we are only focusing on the deployment part or hosting part. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to create one static website. Okay, so what is the location? ed where www html. Okay, here if you see this is the default location. Means Apache will check for any file in this location. If there is any file, then it will reflect the file on the browser here. As of now, we don't have any file, so it is trying to pick the or load the default page. Now let me try to create my own index.html. Touch index.html. Okay, so this is my file name. Let me edit via index.html. Okay, I'm using one simple HTML tags. Come to so this is only one page. I mean, we are just having some welcome message. So let me save this. Now if I'll try to refresh my browser, let us see what will happen. See, welcome to Techie Horizon. So what we have did, we have just created one very basic HTML page. No graphics, nothing. This is just displaying some simple message to the user. If you want to add more graphical user interfaces, or if you want to add some images, right, even that is possible. Okay, so what happened just now? We have customized or we have deployed our own basic HTML web page. So on which location we should deploy always? So this is the deployment location. Means you should only deploy inside where www HTML only. You cannot create one index.html page in www and expect that this will be hosting this. So this is the default deployment location for Apache. Default deployment location where www HTML means if you want to add any static pages or any content, then you should make or add the content inside this directory only. Then only it will be reflecting. That's the reason we call that as default deployment directories. Okay, so how can you change the port number? How to change the port number? In which file?
HTTP config.
etc httpd
conf
httpd.conf.
conf.
So this is the file where we can make the changes to change the port number. Okay, and apart from this, you should be always we should always be aware of the logs as well. Means as of now everything is running okay, well and good, but what if this was not reflecting? What if this is not responding? Then how will you check the error? How will you identify what is happening? So for every application or every service, there will be some log files which will get created. Okay, so what do you mean by log file? even we have these logs in institutes, in offices, in our workplaces, right? So what do you mean by log? Basically, it will have the complete entry and exit, what happened, who came at what time, when he left the place, what was the purpose of meeting, to whom he met. So similarly, each and every service will also have the log files. With the help of log files, we can understand what is happening. So how to know where is our log file related to Apache? So we can check this. Find slash hyphen name. Okay, here you can see this. Where log httpd access log. So this is the location for the log file path. So if you try to cat this, cat log httpd access log, hit enter, then you can see chrome something happened. At what particular timestamp? You can see this timestamp was 6:18, means as per the this date, server date. At server it is UTC timing, 6:33 is the current time in the server. Okay, here you can see 6:31. So this is trying to print some details for you to understand what is happening. So if something goes wrong, then this is the location or this is the file where you can know what happened, why this is not working. So if something goes wrong, right, if something is not working, so let me just go to this location and hit LL. Let me just try to do CD, and if I'll do LL, sorry, let me clear the screen, LL. Okay, here we have two logs, one is access log, one is error log. Means if you want to check any error, then you can access this log, cat error. See, this will help you to understand what happened. Whatever changes I made in terms of deployment, in terms of configuration, everyone will be stored in this log file. Every behavior of your service or application will be monitored or captured. Okay, so even we have the log file in our machines as well. I mean, if you check this tail-f where log messages, I mean this file relates to the system logs. I mean to this EC2, what is happening to this EC2, who has logged in, what he is trying to do, everything is captured in this particular file. If you'll hit enter, see, then you can see Amazon SSM agent, something happened, credentials error, calling, request ID not found, 404. Okay, so it is trying to capture all the logs related to this machine. Okay, so that's how we identify who did some changes, what changes has been made, why my application is not working. We can only track with the help of log file names. Do not worry about this stuff. What is this XMT solicit? Just focus on error. Just read this part, check for this part, error or warning, and then you will understand what happened. Okay, so now what we have did, we have seen how to check the logs as well. Okay, so if something is not responding, then you can check the logs. Based upon the logs, you can identify the issue as well. And if you want to deploy any static pages, then where should we deploy? We should deploy inside where www.html, this directory only. If you want to change the configuration, then you should change in this configurations only. Understood?
Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, guys, I have one more question for you. Okay, so this is for everyone, guys. I want everyone to respond on this. So can I install multiple Apache servers in the same machine? Is that possible?
Yes, possible.
Yes.
After changing port numbers.
Different port in the different.
So that is possible. By changing port numbers, you can execute n number of Apache services. That's up to you. Okay, so you can. It is possible to run multiple Apache servers or Nginx servers or Apache Tomcat servers. Okay, now what we have did, our Apache is running on port number 80. Now let us try to check the configuration related to Nginx. So how to install Nginx? Yum
install
Nginx. I want to add -y parameter. So what will happen if I add -y parameter?
Yes.
Guys,
It is
what will
active.
happen if I add -i parameter? So let us check. Okay. So yum install Nginx. I'm not trying to add any parameters. I'm just using our regular command and hit enter. Let us see what's the difference. So this package is not available. So I need to use, see, this package was not available. Okay, then what happened? No package Nginx is available, and it is also throwing some commands. Means it is asking me to try to execute this command to install Nginx. So always read the output, then you will understand what is happening. Okay, so let me use this command now. Paste, hit enter. Amazon Linux Extras is nothing but one of the package manager related to Amazon images. What happened? I've exited this. Let me try to install again. You guys can find all these details in the book what we have shared. I mean, I have shared one document, right, related to interview question and answers. In that you can see all the details related to Apache and Nginx. Okay, so now what happened? It is asking for user interface. Means I can select whether I want to download or I want to ignore this. So what will happen? So currently what I have did, I have exited this. I mean, I didn't pass any yes or no. I have just cancelled my process. So if I'll pass -y parameter, -y parameter means what will happen? It will assume as yes from the user end, and it will not ask for this. This will be ignored, and this will assume as yes, and it will continue to download. Okay, understood? Why are we using -y parameter?
Yes.
It will not wait for the human interaction or manual interventions. It will be completely automated. So this -y will be useful for us when we are trying to do some automation. Means we will write one script which will help us to install this. At that point of time, -y will be very helpful for us. Hit enter. Now it will automatically install. It will not ask for yes or no, and it will download and exit. Okay, what happened now? This command has been executed successfully. See, complete. Means our setup is done. Now how to check if it is running or not?
Systemctl status.
Systemctl status. Systemctl status and Nginx. Now we can see this is inactive because we haven't started our service. So now how to start? Using command systemctl start Nginx. Guys, you need to remember one thing. Okay, the moment I'm trying to use systemctl, right? So this is executing or starting my service. But why this command is working? What is happening in the backend? Why this systemctl command is working? How it is connected to the backend? Okay, so we'll check about that as well. So for now, let us check the status. Okay, running. Now, what is our, I mean, how can we check if it is running or not? By using netstat, PSFNEF, by using LSOF. Okay, these are 3 different ways. And also we can use browser and check on port number 80. Sorry, port number 80. Okay, welcome to Nginx. Means this is the default page. What will happen if this default page is not available? Then how will you understand whether it is been running or not? Okay, so that's the reason they have some default pages. So okay, we have got this default page. Now how to deploy my application? What is the location for that? So what we can do? We can check. So we have the location called user share Nginx HTML ls. Okay, so here you can see this cat index.html. If you try to cat this, welcome to Nginx. From this particular page only, this is been getting reflected. Welcome to Nginx. See. Okay, and based upon these color schemes, I mean, this is one of the HTML page. Okay, from this page only, it is trying to provide all the details. I mean, this one, colors and all. Okay, so do not worry about these pages, guys. So now, if you want to deploy your own page, what you can do, you can create your own index.html. So what I will do here, instead of Nginx, I will just customize this. Horizon. Let me save this. Now if I'll try to refresh, then you can see welcome to Techie Horizon. So for Nginx, what is the deployment location? The deployment location is user share Nginx HTML. Okay, so this is the deployment location for Nginx. Default. Okay, and default port number. What is the default port number? That is 80. So from where we can check the logs, if it is running or not, or if you want to change the port number, then from which file you can change. So we have the file called etc nginx nginx.conf. So all the configurations files will be ending out with this particular extension .conf conf. If you hit enter, then you can see the details here. See, listen address 80. So you can update this to 81 or some XYZ port number, whatever port number you want to use, you can use. Okay, so you have this file over here, this particular location. Configuration. Okay, now error or access logs, we have the file called cd var log and then nginx. If you do ll, then you can find these two logs. These are related to the your nginx log files. So from these files you can understand what is happening, why it is not running. Okay, understood guys, how to configure nginx, how to configure Apache? Are we good with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do you have any questions on this?
No.
No questions, right? So now, if we have Nginx or Apache, right? So we have two web servers. So which one should we use? Both are web servers. This is used by some other company and this is from some other company. Now, which is good? Which one is better? Which one should we use?
I think there is a difference of static or dynamic.
No, both are static content only.
Okay.
Okay. both are used. I mean, both web servers will always be used to serve the static content or to do some configurations. So what the difference between these two are? Apache and Nginx. Both are web servers and used to deploy or serve static content. And another difference is Nginx is pretty faster than Apache. Means in terms of hosting or serving the content, Nginx is faster. So now which one you will prefer, Nginx or Apache?
Absolutely.
Nginx.
Nginx, right?
Nginx.
So Nginx is faster to serve the content, means we are improving the performance of our website. We might not be able to test that as of now. That is not possible to test for now. But in terms of web servers, Nginx is faster than Apache. And also Nginx can be used as load balancer. We have seen about load balancer in client server architecture, right? So Nginx can be configured as load balancer and no extra configurations are required. Means these web servers can also be used as load balancer. No extra configurations required. Just set this up and start using. But whereas Apache, okay, so Apache can also be used as load balancer, but we need extra configurations. Means we need to do some extra configurations so that this Apache can be used as load balancer. Okay, so now which one you will be preferring, Nginx or Apache? We have a lot of benefits. It is serving the content very faster. It can also be used as load balancer, no extra configuration. So this is pretty straightforward and pretty simple for us.
Or if I want to install the Apache Tomcat.
That is different, guys. Apache Tomcat is different. Okay, so let's first focus on web servers only. For
Okay.
example, when we say load balancer, right? This is my website. Okay, for example, index.html. Okay, here we have some welcome pages. Okay, similarly, I have deployed my application in 3 different servers. I have deployed my application in 3 different servers because the number of users who are trying to access my applications are very high. So I need 3 servers to manage my application. So now what I will do, this application or this server IP is 192.168.0.0. 192.168.0.1, 192.168.0.2 means on these 3 particular IP addresses, my application is accessible. Same application is accessible. So what I will do, for example, Obed came and Obed asked me to share the URL. Means he wants to access my application. So which IP should I share now? I have 3 IPs. So which IP should I share? 3 are running, guys. 3 are running.
You can share any.
So I can share any, right? So for example, Obed, okay, 192.168.0.0, 192.168.0.1, 192.168.0.2. So I can share any IP or I can share 3 IP addresses. So what he will do, I will try to access my application. So now the point is, I mean, if suppose in future you are adding 10 more servers to your website. So will you provide 10 IP addresses to the users? Is it possible for everyone to remember this?
No, sir.
For example, I have shared 0 only, okay, and something went wrong. Something went wrong, and this is not working. So what will happen? Obed will think that this website is not working. But in reality, we have 2 more servers who are serving the traffic. Okay, or else what he will tell, I don't want all these 3 IPs, you just give me 1 IP, that's it. I don't care about the configurations, you do whatever you can. Just provide me 1 IP address. So Obed is my client and this is his website. So in that case, what I will do, I will configure one load balancer. Okay, so what I will do, I will configure one load balancer, and this load balancer will have a specific IP 192.168.0.5. okay, so now what I will do, I will share this IP address to Obed. So whenever he is trying to access my application, okay, whenever he is trying to access my application in browser, what he will do, he will use the IP called 192.168.0.5. the moment he hit this IP, it will go the request will be sent to the load balancer. And what is the use of load balancer? It is to balance the load, right? So what load balancer will do? Load balancer will send the request to any of these 3 servers. If suppose Arif is trying to access, then he will also try to access with the help of my IP address of my load balancer. So generally, this kind of setup we call as high availability servers. High availability of servers means there will be n number of servers, which will help us to distribute the load across different websites or different servers. Understood? So instead of having 3 IPs,
So basically, load balancer is a distribution.
Yeah, load balancer will distribute the load.
Manage the traffic of users.
Yes. How many users? If there are 100 users, then load balancer will manage them. He is responsible to send one user to one server, one user to one server, another user to another server. That's how it will try to manage.
So by default only, Nginx is acts as load balancer.
It will act as load balancer if you will configure that. Okay, means no extra configurations. If you want Apache to make work as load balancer, right, then we need to add lot of configurations. Means we should tell Apache, okay, this is my server, this is where our website is. Okay, but whereas for Nginx, the configurations are pretty easy and simpler.
So in Nginx, we don't need to load balancer.
We need load balancer, but we don't need any extra configurations. If you want your Nginx or Apache to act as load balancer, then we can set up very easily. Nginx is much easier than Apache. By default, it will not just work as load balancer. No, we need to add some basic configurations. We need to tell at least which server the traffic should redirect.
But like how we can merge these servers?
I didn't understand this again.
If I am going to the server 5, okay, 0.5. So 0.0 is not working. So he must go to 0.1, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how like it must command that it must go to 0.1, not to 0. Something like 10 or some other.
Guys, he asked a really good question. Okay, so he made some sense. So what will happen when 0.0 is not working? When we have configured our load balancer, and if 0.0 is not working, then there is no point in configuring load balancer, right? So what will happen is load balancer will always check for the health check of your machines. Means if your machine is up and running, then only it will send the traffic. If something goes wrong, then your load balancer will not distribute the traffic to these servers. It will not allow. It will only serve traffic to these two servers only. So once this is up and running, means if this 0.0 is again back to normal, and if it is healthy, then only load balancer will send the request, or else it will stop sending the traffic. For that, we configure some health check. So
is
it
that
is a
possible
kind of
manually?
manual in the sense.
అది మనం చెక్ చేసుకోవచ్చా సార్?
We can check. I mean, see, health check is nothing but we can tell our load balancer that there is one file called index.html on this particular location. You go and just check. If it is accessible, it means the health check is passed. If it is not accessible, it means that health check is failed. So it will go over there, it will check for the file. If it is available, then it will pass and it will send the traffic. So it will keep on checking for every 2 minutes, every 1 minute, or every 3 minutes. That depends upon our configuration. Okay.
Clear.
So load balancer will help us to act as intermediary for our applications, and it will make sure the traffic is redirected only if the servers are healthy, or else it will ignore. So now how can we set up our load balancer? So this
Sir,
is
is
your
there
task.
any possibility to that 0, 1, 2, 3 both 3 or not working?
If 3 are not working, for example, even this is not working, this is not working, this is not working, means there is impact on the business. Your application is down. No one can access your application. It will not try to restart everything automatically, right? So if everything is down, then yeah, your website is down and you are losing your customers. Okay, so your setup should be in a way that even if all the servers are down, right, it should have the capacity of self-healing or auto restarting. So we'll see that setup as well. As of now, we are not focused on self-healing features. So we'll see that setup in coming sessions. Okay.
Got it.
So now your task for today is to configure your Nginx as your load balancer. So we should configure one HA proxy server, and there should be 3 websites. If you want to deploy 3 websites, then create 3 servers, 3 EC2 instances. One EC2 instance, it should be a message called server 01. In one server, it should be server 02. In one more server, it should be server 03. And the moment I try to access the load balancer URL, right, then I should be able to get all the 3 web pages one by one. I will try to access, again refresh, then it should go to server 2. If I refresh again, it should go to server 03. Okay. So I will share the document as well, so no need to worry. If you read the document properly, then you will understand that process. Okay. So now we have one more thing called app servers. One such example is Apache Tomcat. Guys, do not get confused by Apache and Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat is a application server. Okay, and Apache is a web server. You can call it as Tomcat as well. This is the same companies who has distributed this. I mean, they have 2 different servers. Okay. So now, why do we use Apache Tomcat? So do we have any other application servers in the market apart from Apache Tomcat? So we have JBoss, we have WebLogic as well. Okay, and then we have what we have? Apache, JBoss, WebLogic. I think these 3 are different examples for application server. But most of them, they will be using Apache Tomcat. So we will be focusing on Apache Tomcat only. This is enough for us because same application server will be using till end of our course. Okay, so now what is Apache server, Apache Tomcat? It is used to serve dynamic content. Okay, this is used to serve dynamic content, means you can have dynamic web pages for your application. And if you want to host your application, then you can use Apache Tomcat and deploy your application in this particular deployment directory. Okay, so now how to install or set up Apache Tomcat? For example, this is my server. Okay, yum install Tomcat. Let us see if this is working or not. This will work, guys. I hope you guys have did, right?
Tomcat 9, I think.
No.
For example, Tomcat. Let us see what is happening. Okay, now if I check the status, systemctl status Tomcat inactive. Now if I try to run this systemctl start Tomcat, what should happen? It should try to start my Tomcat. Now again, if you'll see the status, okay, running, but here we can see some logs. Okay, here it is telling that some lines were ellipsed. Use -l to show in full, means if you use -l parameter, so whatever here it has been disappeared, right? So we can see the details. See, you'll find the complete information related to your application, I mean your service. Okay, so now how to access, on which port number Apache Tomcat will be running?
8080.
8080. So before running, let us check if it is really working for us or not. Okay, how to check? Netstat -na pipe grep 8080. Sorry, yeah, 8080. Here I can see something is listening. Okay, one more is ps-ef. We have grep Tomcat. Yes, I can see Tomcat is running. Apart from this, what do we have? We have LSOF. Even LSOF will be working for us. Okay, apart from this, for example, if you don't have the access to browser, for example, assume that you don't have access to browser, can we check it if it is running or not locally? I mean, how our website looks. So we can use a command called curl localhost :80. See, here you can see welcome to Techie Horizon. Basically on port number 80, what was running? Nginx was running, and here we have the edited message for us. So what will
Curl
happen?
means
Curl command, what it will do, it will try to get the details of your application, I mean which is running on this particular IP address or port number. For example, curl localhost 81. See, welcome to Techie Horizon. So this is trying to collect the data from the browser and paste here. Okay, so similarly we can use 80 and see if Tomcat is running. Okay, I mean nothing has been printed. So let me try to check on browser. This is not running, means page can't be found. Why it is not running? Here we can see the status is running, right? If you see this status Tomcat, here we can see server startup and everything looks good. Only here I don't see anything related to the logs and all. Now what should I do? So let me just check these logs. Where log messages, I am trying to check the system logs if anything has been printed over there. -100 means 100 lines. So something is happening when we were trying to access Okay, here we can see some errors. See, OpenJDK version 17, font JVM for PAD. See, all the logs has been printed here. Guys, did you find any errors over here? Java version. What is Java version? It will help us to see which Java version is installed in our EC2. Here we can see Java version 17 has been installed. So Java is the prerequisite for Tomcat. Why? Java is the prerequisite for Tomcat. Why? Because every application will be created by using some programming language. So Apache Tomcat has been developed by using Java. So if you want to run any Java application, then Java should be available. So if you want to execute Apache Tomcat, then you should have Java in your machines. That's the prerequisite or dependency. Okay. And /fname catalina.out. See here we have one log file related to Tomcat. So let us check this. Cat Tomcat 7.0 RPM installed, but still it is not running. So what will happen is, never expect every command will be or every application can be installed by using yum module. Never expect this. Yum install Tomcat. This might work or this might not work as expected. Did it work? You guys have executed Tomcat, right? So did that work for you guys? Were you guys able to access Tomcat on browser? You guys have just simply executed and taken the screenshots and done with the task. But no one has tested that, whether we are really able to access this on browser or not. What everyone was thinking, okay, system tutorial status is active, then it is running. No, that's not how things will work, guys. Okay, so first let me remove the existing one. Okay, so what we can do is, if something is not running as expected, or if you are unable to find any packages in the yum repository, what we can do, you can go to Google. Okay, check for Apache Tomcat download. This is very straightforward process. Okay, then you can find the URL. So if you click here, and if you see this here, you have different versions. So which version of Tomcat you want to install? I want to install Tomcat 9 version. So I have selected 9. Then you can find the tar file or zip file. Here from core, this is 9.0.80 version. .gz. Let me just copy and cd opt. Generally everything, I mean whatever you are trying to download, try to download in opt directory. This is the optional directory. Okay, you can download anywhere, but try to use opt. Okay, so now how to download any something from internet from online by using wget command, right? Wget, and then this is the URL. Hit enter, and if I do ls, we can see one tar file has been created or downloaded. Now how to extract this? By using tar command, tar xvf. Yes, right, Apache Tomcat. Now see 9.0.80. Now if I do ls, here we can find the extracted file. Now if you go to this file, cd apache, currently I'm in this location. Now if I do ls, then you can find all the configurations and the files related to your Tomcat. Okay, bin means always binaries. Conf means configuration related. Logs means logs related. So web apps is the default directory, means your deployment directory. So if you deploy or copy something on web apps, then it will be hosted. Similar to our Apache and Nginx, what we have did. So now I want to start my service. If I'll do systemctl start or status tomcat.service could not be found. If you'll do start, for example, service not found. Why it is checking for this service file? The moment I am trying to execute systemctl, why it is checking for these service files? And when can we see this service file? For example,
When we install them.
if you have status nginx, then you can find this. See, there is one file called nginx.service. So when this file got created, did we created this file? No. This file has been created when we have installed nginx by using m repository. Now we have installed Apache Tomcat not from m repository. We have installed it manually, so we cannot find this file. So systemctl command will not work for Tomcat. Okay, systemctl will not work. Then how should we start that? So if you see this ls, then you have the directory called bin binaries. If you get inside this bin and if you clear the screen and do ls, here you can find different scripts which are responsible to start your application. This is what we have got when we have downloaded Apache. Okay, out of this we have one script called startup.sh. So how do you know that this is one script? .sh means .shell. What do you mean by .bat? Bat versions are generally for Windows servers. Means if you want to install Tomcat in Windows, then you can execute this script. If you want to install Tomcat on Linux or Ubuntu, then you can execute this script. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to execute. So how to run this script, how to start this script? So we have two different commands. One is by using bash startup.sh. Which file? So this is the file. And the command is bash and then file name, I mean the script name, or else // startup.sh and hit enter. Then we can see something happened, Tomcat started. Now if you want to see the status, systemctl will not work for you because there is no service file, because we haven't installed Tomcat by using m repository. Hit enter, nothing found. So now, okay, we know that this has been started. So if you want to check, you can use ps-ef pipe grep tomcat, or you can use netstat-na pipe grep 8080. Yes, here also we can see something is listening. And here also we can see there is one process related to Tomcat. Okay, now if you want to see the logs, ls, and in this particular log files directory logs, you can find this. This will be asked in interviews, guys. So what is the default file name of Tomcat logs? So the file name is catalina.out. This file will have the complete information related to your Apache Tomcat. Apache Tomcat runs on which port number? That is 8080. Where can you see the logs? You can find that log in catalina.out. So now if I'll do .out, see, now we can see these are the different logs which has been created. Earlier, did we able to see any logs? No, right? There was no log printed. Now we can see there are a lot of lines here. 9.0280 web apps host manager, web apps host manager. Okay, now if you want to access, you can go to your browser, port number 8080 and hit enter. Now we can see one page coming over here. So this is our, this is the default page for Apache Tomcat. See, if you are seeing this, you have successfully installed Tomcat. Congratulations. Okay, so this is how we can set up our Apache Tomcat. The steps are very easy, guys. The only thing is we need to check for the prerequisite. Is Java. So in our machine, in my machine, Java was already available. See, Java 17. If not available, then you can use this install Java. Then it will get installed. Okay, so now, okay, everything, I mean, we are good with the application server. So we know how to install application server. We know how to start the script. We know how to check the logs. And we want to know how can we change the configuration. So you can see this conf ll, and you can find this file server.xml. If I try to do cat server.xml, this is the file where you can change the port number related to your Tomcat. See, here it is telling as 8080. So if you want to run this on port number 8081 or 9090 or port number 7072, then you can make the changes in this server.xml file. Always remember, if you want to see the configuration files, the extension will be .conf, or there will be one directory calling as conf. If you want to see the logs, then you can find the directory called log, and in there you can find logs. Okay. Now I want to deploy one application. Okay, here this is the default deployment location, web apps. Any static, any dynamic file, if you want to deploy any application, then you should add that file in web apps. So do we have any files as of now? I mean, any application or any packages, dynamic packages? We haven't created any website yet, right? So what I will do, I will try to pick some from Google. Sample.var, hit enter. Then it will open the first page. And if you click this, then you can find something. The example app has been packaged as a WAR file and can be downloaded. So just copy this link, go to your web apps, wget, and then link, hit enter. Now if I'll do ll, here you can see the file has been downloaded. Again, if you do ll, you can see this file will get extracted. If I do ll again, see this file has been extracted. This was a WAR package. So what is WAR, what is jar, you will understand this, don't worry. As of now, just focus on that we have some dynamic application. The moment I have copied this, it has been extracted. So now just copy this name, go to your browser, slash your application name. My application name is sample, and hit enter. See, sample hello world application. If you click this, something is happening. And if you click this, something is happening. Means this is one sample application which has been created for testing purpose. Okay. So if you have your application, then we can deploy our application inside this web apps directory. Guys, understood?
Where can we get that sample file?
If you want to read the content, go to the insert sample file, and here you will find the index.html page, web pages. Okay, so this is one index.html page. I mean, this is the same one what we are seeing over here. Okay, sample hello world application. Here we can see sample hello world application. This is a Java based application what they have written. So if you want to check the different files, yes, we have the browser supported files, metadata, images, hello.jsp. So hello.jsp, basically this will be this one. Okay, so if you want, you can cat and you can read. That's up to you. Okay, now if suppose you want to deploy one more application, then what you can do? Let me just check if I have any application or not. I don't have any applications related to our concept. Okay, so if you want to deploy any application, then you can just come to web apps, copy that, deploy. I mean, move that file from anywhere to this location. Then we are good with the hostings. So now what we have did, we have created our Apache Tomcat, we have checked the logs, we have deployed our sample application. Okay, now our requirement is, see, every time if suppose I want to run my Tomcat, so where is my Tomcat? opt ls cd apache tomcat ls cd bin. Here, if I want to shut down, then I should execute this script, then it will shut down my server. Now my requirement is, I mean, I don't want to come to this location each and every time. I want to use systemctl command. I mean, if I execute systemctl.tomcat, then this should start my service. Then how can we configure this service file? This is also one task in your list, right? So now, for example, let me clear this screen. If we are trying to see this systemctl status httpd, here you can find one service.httpd1.service. Now if you are trying to see nginx user lib systemd system nginx.service, user lib systemd system httpd.service, means at this particular location we have some service files configured. Okay, let me just go to the directory ls, then we can find nginx.service, then we can find our httpd.service. Where is my httpd? httpd.service, means from this particular location it is trying to execute. So let me just try to cat this and see what is the different content available. nginx.service. Okay, if I copy this, so this is how my service file is looking like. Means here we are trying to pass on which location we want to execute. Okay, now if I try to cat httpd, okay, here we can find this. So almost same, right? So there is, I mean, there are not much changes. So what is happening? So when we create the service file, then we can able to execute systemctl command. So we can also create our own service files, because not all the services or applications will be installed by using m command. In that case, we should create our own service file. Okay, so now try to investigate on this part. How can we set up load balancer? How can we set up one service file? Okay, so these two things is something what I am expecting from your end. Guys, do you have any questions for today?
Sabir bhai, we can make symbolic link or a soft link for startup and shutdown.
We can make symbolic links as well. You can make symbolic links, Anwar. Guys, any questions?
Nothing from my.
Okay. Let me stop this record.